Alright, quick explainer on this HPG axis and how that interplays to moderate the endogenous, as in your own body's production of the hormone testosterone, but that has follow-on effects to dihydrotestosterone and estrogen too by follow-on effect. So why should you care? Understanding this will allow you to better select herbs or supplements or pharmaceuticals or whatever lifestyle practices that will suit your needs better, because you'll understand the lever points that you're trying to interject in this system. Second, if you're getting blood tests or doing any sort of testing or discussing with your doctor at all, you have this foundational understanding as your cross-reference tool, and you'll be able to better understand said blood tests, or, is your doctor, does he know what he's talking about? That sort of shit. I've talked through this in more detail in an article on the Nice Supplement Co website, but running through the basics here. So HPG stands for hypothalamus, pituitary, gonadal, and in the male, the gonads are the testes. So this system essentially is talking about the feedback control of how testosterone is produced, and then how your brain then works to regulate producing more or less based on how much is available. So let's step through it. The first two, hypothalamus and pituitary, are in your brain. Your hypothalamus will send out something known as gonadotropin releasing hormone, and what that does is that enters a little, like a vein, or it enters a blood vessel between the hypothalamus and the pituitary. It goes to the pituitary. The pituitary acknowledges this by acting on its receptors, and from there the pituitary will release luteinizing hormone, follicle stimulating hormone, as well as a bunch of others like growth hormone, etc. that don't play into this system so much, but are still valuable hormones that we need. These two hormones release the luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. Once they're released, they're into your circulation. In their circulation, they can go towards tissues, namely your gonads. In your gonads, they're detected in cells like Sertoli cells and Leydig cells. So it's kind of like two key ones of note. In the Leydig cells, the LH will stimulate the conversion of cholesterol to testosterone, and then that testosterone will be either aromatized to estradiol in the Leydig cells itself or the area around, or in other tissues in your body, such as in fat. That another hormone produced as a result of this input is known as inhibin B. Now, this is also a player much like testosterone and estrogen is when feeding back to the hypothalamus. So let's get to the testosterone and estrogen. Those will go back into your circulatory system. So all of these hormones can go throughout their circulatory system. The testosterone itself can also be reduced to dihydrotestosterone, but that seems to have a less potent effect than normal testosterone in this feedback loop. These hormones are now circulating through your system, and they can go back through to the brain. In the brain, the hypothalamus and the pituitary can both detect the androgen, so your testosterone and dihydrotestosterone, as well as inhibin B and estradiol. And of note here is that they all play a role in regulating. So if there's a high amount of any of them, then that will decrease the amount of output of the pituitary and hypothalamus, and as such kind of keep things in a controlled manner or range of this is how much testosterone and estrogen will be present, because of reducing the amount of luteinizing hormone being pumped out, which then signals that cascade. So if these things are also low, then that allows the pituitary to pump out more luteinizing hormone again. But key thing to note is that the feedback system will play into both the pituitary and the hypothalamus, but as the hypothalamus only, that will signal the gonadotropin releasing hormone, which then says to which the pituitary then receives that to pump out the luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone and above. So as a wrap up, we've got this slow moving cycle of gonadotropin, luteinizing, testosterone, estradiol, and back up again to say, do we make more or do we make less? of most impact seems to be estradiol. However, all of them play in a role, and different amounts can seem to affect the amount of luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone and other things like different rates and etc. Will change because this is a pulsing type system. It's not a constant secretion usually. It's more of a pulsing of, let's release some gonadotrophin now, let's release some gonadotrophin now, that sort of thing. So, long explanation for a social media thing, but I hope you enjoyed. Any questions on that, do ask.